NYXL is a curious team in this off-season, aren't they? They have been up and down in terms of what they've been doing. First of all, we had NYXL getting rid of their roster, and they kind of blitzed it. Everyone but Jjonak was gone. So we lost Sabi Olby, we lost people like Mano to the Philadelphia Fusion, and we see people like Animo finally leave. Players that have been in the league since it was made, and it's been with NYXL the whole time. And we see these big stalwarts going. So we knew that New York Excelsior were about to do a very big rejig. Then we had the rumours over the question of where were they going to go with this new roster. Were they going to go down the Korean route, or were they going to go down a Western route? At one point, we did think they were going to go Western. There were rumours around that that happening, but now they have been debunked, because then, not so long ago, on the 11th, we found out their tank line, and their tank line is Bianca returning, the off tank they had last season to back up Hotbar, and he ended up coming and actually being fairly decent. So this was a good signing, and then they've signed the main tank Yapung, coming in from OT Blast, so he's their main tank. We're looking at a team that looked fairly young and rather interesting. So with the tank slots filled, it was time to fill more slots for the NYXL. Now obviously they retained Jjonak, so they only need technically one support, and that's who we had announced yesterday. So they are bringing in the OZ Gaming main support Friday. Now this is an interesting one, and it's one that actually definitely caught me off guard. So there's a lot of teams seem to be picking up OZ Gaming players, and I'm wondering why, to be quite honest with you. OZ Gaming are middle of the pack in Korea. Middle to low. They definitely get outclassed by the better teams in Korea. Just for a perspective on this, they came middle of the pack, lower end of the pack in Season 1, Week 4. They got pummeled by O2 Blast. In the week before that, they got pummeled by WGS Phoenix. In the week before that, they got pummeled by T1 in the Trials. In the week before that, they got pummeled by Runaway. In the week before that, they got pummeled by Gen.G. And Gen.G have not exactly been the brightest of teams of recent times. It's not the Gen.G of last year, let's put it that way. So, is this a massive signing? No. Is this a signing perhaps they're looking for to develop to the future? Maybe, yes. I would hope so. Because I don't think this is going to be a New York Excelsior that hits the ground running immediately. Far from it, to be quite honest with you. I think, like right now, for immediate judgment, yeah, they're weaker than they were. Could they have the potential to be a lot better than what we've seen before from New York Excelsior? Possibly. But it's going to take a lot of hard work and good coaching. That's for sure. And to be quite honest, I honestly could have put money on Sanguinar going to this NYXL squad. I could have seen him alongside Jjonak. And it's weird that no one has actually gone in for Sanguinar. I'm not going to lie. I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but there's several teams I expected to go for Sanguinar, and none of them have gone for him. So I feel a bit sorry for that guy, I'm not going to lie. But I feel with that little snippet of Overwatch League experience, put alongside the fact that he is still very young and learning a lot, I think he would have been a better option than Friday. There's something we're missing about OZ Blast. Where are we getting this from? OZ Gaming, because there are several players, OZ Gaming wise, that have been picked up by Overwatch League teams. We saw it with the Los Angeles Gladiators picking up Skewed. That was a really left field pick out of the support line of OZ Gaming. And now we also saw Checkmate go to the Florida Mayhem, the DPS player. So there have been a lot of scouts watching OZ Gaming in Korea, because literally half of their team has been snapped up by Overwatch League teams, and they haven't really done anything outstanding. For context, OZ Gaming used to be a team called Geekstar, and Geekstar didn't actually do that much either. Now, OZ Gaming did acquire the Batlica team, and Batlica were a team that did very well, considering they came up from the lower end of Open Division Korea into contenders, and then they actually stunned everyone by doing really, really well in Korean contenders. Now, that's where Checkmate came from, going to the Florida Mayhem. But both Friday of the New York Excelsior and Skewed of the Gladiators both came from that Geekstar squad that became OZ Gaming. So it all just adds up into this really weird cocktail of players that were relatively unknown. The thing is, you know, you can have relative unknowns come into the Overwatch League and do very well. New York Excelsior know that very, very well from Jjonak. Now, Jjonak came from Ladder, obviously, not a Korean team, but he still was an out-of-the-blue pick. So, what to take away from this if you're a New York Excelsior fan? Well, it's to limit your expectations. When you're looking at this team, there is a lot of development to do. A lot of development. And you need to be patient with them, most likely. Because this is a team that is not going to get you instant results. I can almost assure that. It would be incredible if it did. This is a team that New York are looking to build for the long term. Now, there are a lot of teams that are looking at more long-term options because, well, that's kind of what they do. That's kind of what they do in this offseason, because this offseason is so weird and the money is so odd. People are looking at, well, if we can get cheaper players and then develop them in the long run, we can actually make a profit off of them. And if they're that good, then, well, great. We found ourselves a fantastic player. Now, this is most likely what New York Excelsior are doing. Yakpung is still young. Bianca is still young. And Friday is still young. Jjonak is going to most likely be the figurehead. Jjonak is going to be the person with the most experience, which is going to be odd. Let's be honest, it's going to be really odd, considering he was a massive rookie coming into the league. But he's had 3 years to develop, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he can lead this team. It's not got a Sabiobi right now. It's not got that massive figurehead that is just going to calm everyone down and lead them in the right direction. And that is obviously possibly, I don't know what I was saying there. It's obviously what they're imagining for Jjonak. They're obviously, I would imagine now, thinking Jjonak's had 3 years with an incredibly experienced squad. He's now the experienced head on the New York Excelsior, and so he's going to lead them. It'll be interesting to see how that works. There's going to be a lot of coaching. Like, it's perhaps very similar to London, actually, from last year, where you look at the squad and say, this could be a good squad if it's got the right coaching. Did London have the right coaching last season? It's debatable. They looked like they had the right coaching, but it went completely haywire. So, it's a gamble, and we could see this New York Excelsior team blow up in 2022. We don't know. But it's also possible that if they hit this right, they are making not a god squad, but they're making a squad full of crazy potential players, a bit like Shock did in the first season of the Overwatch League, to become a team that can be extremely good. Extremely good. And there must be something about OZ Gaming, because teams are looking at that team. This is a team that has not been at the top of Korea, and yet they're having half of their roster snagged by Overwatch League teams, when you're seeing other teams above them, like Gen G, like O2 Blast, like even WGS Phoenix to a certain extent, Runaway. They've not really been touched too much. Like, Runaway have lost Mag. That's the only player they've lost during this entire off-season window. And Runaway are runners-up of Korea, behind WGS Phoenix. And yet, this OZ Gaming team has had more players yoinked from it than Runaway. Or even WGS Phoenix, considering WGS Phoenix had 2 players on loan from Uprising Academy. More than OT Blast. More than Talon. So, it's rather odd that the better teams in Korea are managing to hold on to their players right now, and lower end teams like OZ Gaming are losing out. Is there a theory to this? Well, possibly. It is possible that the financial squeezing on the Overwatch League is causing teams to look a little bit further afield because they can't afford to yoink players from teams like Runaway, who are going to ask for a good amount of cash, I'm sure, to let go of their players, whereas OZ Gaming are probably not looking for as much cash. So that's possibly why these sort of things are happening. it'll be interesting. And we are going to continue to keep an eye on the New York Excelsior because I'm sure you will find more and more stuff coming out as the days and weeks go on. But I am going to leave it here for this one. There are now 2 Discord servers, by the way. There is a community server for Illusion Gaming, so if you want to join that, that'll be in the video description. Also, my server is in the video description as well for YouTube and everything. Also, all of the Twitters are in the YouTube description these days, like all of them, all 5 of them. Yes, I manage them all. Oh lord. And obviously, hit the bell if you want to know any notifications coming up on here for the next videos as well. And also Illusion Gaming, which is linked at the end of the video and is also a great place to be. But I'm going to leave it here for this one, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to give a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.